Have you ever heard of this saying that talks about the universe is my sugar daddy and I get everything that I really put my finger on? Or like people are actually manifesting their mood boards or their Pinterest boards, or they're just thinking of things and they're actually happening. What about those women that are actually able to do that? And you may think, and people actually think that she must be giving something in return. There's always a man taking care of her, but there's another way, and the other way is actually the most self-assuring, most benefit, and the most healthiest term of being independent out there is a woman that believes that the universe will give her everything, because the universe is the one that is bringing and collecting resources according to her desires. That's why it's so important to take care of your yoni, take care of your relationship with your womb, look after your menstrual cycle, because the more you take care of the vessel and the home that you live in, the more you open yourself to receive. It's almost like, imagine you're thinking of a bag that you really want. We're going to start at a small scale. You're thinking of a bag, or you're thinking of something that's maybe vintage, or you're thinking of something that you saw somebody have or on Pinterest, and you're like, oh, this seems like a rare find, and where I'm going to find the resources for it. Two things you need to keep in mind is that it's very true that the thing you want actually wants you. It's coming in your mind and it's making itself noticeable out of everything else because it's already yours, and that's not some sort of gimmick. It's just a way in which you think of quantum leaping, right? At a larger scale, you think of things that you already have in future, or you think of this feeling that why you can't stop desiring something or somebody is because you already have them, or you have that in future. Is the same relationship you share with any sort of item or thing that's supposed to be yours in reality. So you're looking at something and you're like, okay, how am I going to get it? And then you start thinking about the ways in which, like, it's not possible, maybe it seems out of my budget, or I don't deserve it, or like you try to like guilt trip yourself and oh, it's not practical, like it's something that I don't really deserve. And your receptivity is directly related with the comfort and luxury that you have in your life. So your self conception phases everything around you, like the way that you travel, the way that you sit, the way that you eat, the way that you represent yourself, the way that you feel about yourself, the way that you look at yourself in the mirror, the way that you bathe, the way that you put lotion on your body. Like there's n number of things that just start with your own personal intimacy as a woman that talk about how do you really feel about yourself. So I want you to see it as a third person and don't take it personally, so that you can understand exactly what I'm trying to say, right? A woman that is not able to take care of herself, she is so panicky. See, when you are stressed, you're with a man that's no good for you. You're in situations where you're constantly worried about money. You're chasing somebody else's dreams of what you think you should be doing because your mom said that, or your dad said that, or your family expects you to do that. Or you just think that you can't have rest and you can't relax and unleash that control because you think that you're the one that's holding everything together. So as a woman, you tend to go crazy. You have massive breakdowns. You're like, I can't put this together no longer. The thing is that it causes such a hormonal imbalance that your cortisol level rises, your body starts getting bloated because it has to put an armor on, it has to protect itself. So all of these are small ways in which your body indicates like, hey, I'm not okay with the lifestyle that you're leading, but you still keep on going at it because you have fears, you have real life fears. You, at the end of the day, every fear is that, I'm going to be homeless, I'm going to be alone, like I'm not going to be any good enough, I'm not going to get love, nobody's going to look after me. But you forget that the universe is looking after you. The universe wants to give you like heaps and heaps and heaps of blessings, and wants to make your life relatively so much more easier than you can actually comprehend. But it's because of the trauma, the mindset that you're carrying. You're like, no, fuck no, like that bag probably can't be mine because it's like a rare find, or I don't have the funds for it, or I need to be practical, like why should I take care of myself or treat myself, and things like that translate at a bigger level where you're manifesting a person, a man that's just not paying attention to you, like he's not being consistent, or he doesn't give a shit about your feelings. All of these things, because your inner feminine and your inner masculine that controls your whole life and is holding it together is going to manifest a masculine on the outside who's going to also be like holding it together, and he doesn't know, and he's not able to take care of himself. He doesn't really have anything to give you in terms of energy, communication, love, money. He doesn't have anything to give you because your relationship is depicting everything on the outside. Like, as much as there are things that are in support, and I completely understand as my own experience as a woman in this world that some people are very shitty, and sometimes there are certain men that do really shitty things out of pain and hurt and just ego. But there's also this self conception that doesn't let you, I say the trending term, decenter men away from yourself, because everything you're leaning upon, it's like that quote where, who was that woman? I forgot the most famous quote, which says that I I'm not going to marry a rich man, I am a rich man. It's that mentality where a woman feels that she has a direct link with the universe and she can actually manifest that. But a lot of times, our relationship with the universe is a replica of the way that our mothers have had that. So, if you've seen your mother like penny pinching, not spending on herself because she's like, she wants to be a good mom complex, or good woman, which a lot of parents tend to go through, is that, I need to save up all the money for my children because I have to fulfill their needs. So they end up feeling guilty for taking care of themselves, or um, saying no to maybe your partner when they're being abusive or verbally abusive, or they're just like pushing you around, expecting you to carry the load of everything. There are so many ways in which women just see their mother and then they internalize everything, especially the receiving portal. Like, if you're in survival mode as women, you're like natural creators, so you have so much creative energy. That's why a woman that's loved actually has hobbies and she's not trying to monetize everything, because as superficial as it sounds, the universe is conspiring in a way that the universe wants her to just create. That's the epitome of femininity. I have ideas, I just keep creating. I don't create to monetize everything. I don't create to put it out there on the social, on my social media. I just create because this is my flow state of being. This is how I really feel about myself. This is just what I'm meant to do. I'm just supposed to be in leisure, and that's why the amount of luxury or the comfort that you have, or the way that you feel provided by, can change like this when your internal belief changes, when you repair your connection with your sacral. That's the most important, because to connect with your sacral, to connect with your womb, you're going to have to heal all the pain that women before you had, which means that you have to transmute and relive moments that your mother may have gone through, or your grandmother or women before her. All the terrorizing feelings that a person before you went through are the things that you will have to naturally learn to you will have to learn to transmute that pain, because she's carrying the fear or mindset from the situations she encountered and she didn't know how to basically tackle them in any other way. So you also absorb those fear DNAs, and now you're like living in scarcity because, like, no, I got a penny pinch. If I want to buy that outfit, I can't possibly buy that outfit. Or if I want to, upgrade my lifestyle, if I want to move, or if I want to do something, or I want to buy that expensive makeup, or I want to do something, the universe wants to give all of that to you and more. It's just your penny pinching in your mind, because you're not seeing how money is just the means. Money is not the ends to it. Money is not what defines it. Your frequency, your thought pattern is defining if that thing finds its way towards you. It's almost like in small little things that like, you could possibly think of, like being cheap about, I don't know, cleaning up your surroundings, or like giving yourself nice baths, or buying good body lotions, because the way, or internally investing in it, like maybe just being open, just having this thought like, something will turn up is the thought that's of flow state. Like, I desire it. It's actually as easy as I want it and I got it. You don't have to stress so much about where it comes from, because oftentimes when we're looking and we're trying to work through this, you have to understand that it's not going to come to you naturally unless and until there are small moments of manifestations that reassure you, like, yes, fuck yes, the universe is listening to me. Like, the universe is literally listening to me right now, and the universe is watching you listening to me right now as well, because you feel like somewhere you want the luxury of it, you want the comfort, you don't want to be hustling for small little things, right? It's in a way in which we're like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna light the damn candle because, like, I don't want to be cheap and I don't want to save good candles, or I'm gonna wear that outfit where I feel like wearing it, not because I'm seeing what other people are wearing, or if I feel like just upgrading my lifestyle, or if I want to buy expensive food for myself which is good in quality, I do that because it's my body. Like, I want to give myself good food, I don't want to buy artificial injected shit. You know what I mean? There are so many examples day to day in life, what you think you deserve and the choices that you're making. You're penny pinching because you're like, oh, money is not going to show up. So, what the hell am I going to do with? The practice is in opening yourself up. Just a faint feeling of exposure that this is going to turn up some other way. I don't have to fucking figure it out right now. It's just going to happen some other way. It's going to happen in a really small manner. The universe is going to show me that they're figuring it out. You don't have to think about it. And that's how it's like a snowball effect, or it's like muscle memory. Like, you start off with the little things, they show up, and manifestation is equivalence to your trust in it. So, as well as you manifest really small things and you're like, it'll show up, and you think about it and you're like, yeah, I'll buy it later, or it'll come from somewhere. And some other day, somebody gifts you that thing, or it actually shows up at your place, or somebody just thought of you and they're like, yeah, maybe I think you need this. It's manifestation. Did money have anything to do with that? Absolutely not. Then you need to stop seeing money as the barrier and remove it as a frequency, or like a definition or a ceiling limit of what you really deserve, because it can move past it. Same thing happens when we're trying to think of things that we want to manifest in our life, like we want to be with a person or we want to travel somewhere. The things that we tell ourselves is like, okay, so I read about this in a book which is The Artist's Way. This is the most infamous book by that recommended by that artist that blew up, Dochi. So I bought that book and I've been reading that continuously because it reaffirms my relationship with abundance. And it had this paragraph which spoke about how we penny pinch so much, like God. Like, as an artist, the world talks so much about like how you can't have financial stability and be an artist as well, because either you have to pick emotional fulfillment or financial stability. So this talks about how we think of God as a ceiling limit as well. And we're like, yeah, God is going to provide for all of our bills and like our water bill and our money and our food and our shelter. But God is not going to provide for my art supplies. It's the ceiling limit you put on what you think you deserve. And then you're just like blabbering to the universe, like, oh yeah, God probably doesn't want me to go and travel. God probably doesn't want me to go and have that hobby, or I don't have time. The things that we tell ourselves because we've put a ceiling limit on what we really deserve in terms of luxury, is just equivalent to what we think the type of ease that we deserve. There's something that I always keep talking about whenever there's a tough situation or something that's mind boggling or it's just pissing me off. I'm like, I want this to be easy. Universe, make this easy. I don't want the weight of it on my head. I don't want to simply fucking figure it out. Like, it's not even as cliche as if it's out of my control, it's out of my head. Like, boo hoo. Sometimes it's just roaming rent free in my head and I got nothing, like, nada. I got no solution. Then I ask the universe for exactly what I need. Like, lay it off. Please make it easy for me. Give me something that I need, or show me what's better out there. Like, I know that I deserve more. So that's the way. It's like you're thinking the universe is my sugar daddy. What does a little girl do when she's talking to her father? she's just like leaving it all onto him. It does not matter if you haven't had that relationship with your father, because I can understand that the way that we see the universe is also limited to a paramount value of the way in which our father may have treated us. So ways in which he may have spoiled you are the ways in which you're okay and you manifest like this, and you just naturally, because it's your custom level, but the things that are out of reach, especially in a patriarchal society, it's a lot about just receiving comfort and not having to pay back for it, or not sexualize yourself, or objectification, or give something back, or like there's some sort of trade, like you see as getting something from somebody transactional, right? But that's not the universe. That's the way that the world around you has trained you to see your relationship with the universe. God is not negotiating on your creative abilities. God is not negotiating with you like, yeah, okay, you may buy one fruit that you really like, and then the rest of them you can buy some injected shit that's coming out in the market. No, God wants to give you the goodies, but you got to open your hand. You're like, no, I think this is enough. And then you're like, God doesn't want me to have more. But God's like, buddy, open up your hand. Thing is, you got to really start having the audacity. I posted this reel recently which talks about the unconscious is like, it's gonna keep making you pick up the same portion again and again, and you're gonna negate, or you're just gonna forget the assumption portion, which means that you have the option to assume that there's more. Creating your dream life is more of an audacious game than it's of intelligence, or it's of wits, or if it's of being pretty, hot, good looking, smart enough, worthy enough, coming from this background, that background. It doesn't fucking matter. It's just about like the way that you feel about yourself. And a lot of times you need to get away from people that keep reaffirming that part of you, because it's going to offend them, especially if you're coming from a place of like self-protection and you've got like some conspiracy in your mind, and you're like, I gotta get a little bit witchy, and I gotta really like plan something out. And while you're doing that, a lot of ego death is going to take place. You're going to naturally start shedding, because remember, you asked universe like, I want this to be the normalcy of my life. So then you're gonna have to let go of, you know the ways in which you treat yourself, and everything that changes on the inside. Because again, I keep talking about how the intrapersonal relationship with your mother talks about your self-worth, and the interpersonal relationship with your father talks about how the world treats you and how your world really looks, is the reason why we learn to relate with inner masculine, inner feminine, and inner masculine. This is important because these are two components within us. So, since they were the primary representative of feminine and masculine, we absorbed their definitions of the ways in which they showed up. So, if you're ever trying to understand why you can't fucking fathom getting that vintage bag, or it's not about money, first of all, take out money out of the bracket and then see how do you really feel about that situation, because 9 out of 10 times you just don't feel like you deserve it.